week's main news. Council of Europe Committee calls on Azerbaijani government to release Aynullah Fatullayev. Protests at Anar Mammadov's court hearing. Court refuses to open criminal case against former parliamentary candidate. Selahattin Akbar. Musavat leadership unwilling to cooperate with Azerbaijan Popular Front Party. Nakhchivan authorities continue to persecute opposition supporters. Human Rights Club established in Azerbaijan.
The Council of Europe Committee of Ministers has released its final statement on the case of imprisoned journalist Aynullah Fatullayev. The statement emphasizes that as a member of the Council of Europe, Azerbaijan has undertaken to abide by the final judgment of the European Court. The November 11th ruling by the Azerbaijani Supreme Court makes Fatullayev's release possible. However, he remains behind bars, and there are still questions being asked about the legality of his imprisonment since April 2007. We call upon the Azerbaijani government to immediately consider this issue and take every measure to release the journalist and replace his prison sentence with some other penal measure, if indeed that is deemed necessary. In 2007, Aynullah Fatullayev, editor-in-chief of Realny Azerbaijan and Gundelek Azerbaijan newspapers, was sentenced to 8.5 years in jail for threatening terrorism, amongst other charges. In July of this year, he was sentenced to an additional 2.5 years in prison by Garadagh District Court under charges of drug possession. The European Court of Human Rights has issued a final and absolute ruling for his innocence and has demanded his immediate release. The Azerbaijani Supreme Court plenum partially fulfilled the decision. A group of Azad League and Yeni Musavat newspaper employers protested alongside members of Dalga Youth Movement outside the Yasamal District Court today. They were demonstrating against the lawsuit brought by Anar Mammadov, the transport minister's son, against Yeni Musavat and Azad League newspapers. Mammadov is appealing to the court, citing personal humiliation and damage to his business reputation resulting from articles published in the newspapers. An article published in July was called Kamaluddin Haydarov's Bear Eaten, and another was published in September, Sheikh expels Anar Mammadov from Dubai. According to Azad League editor Sujadin Shafarov, Mammadov is demanding 250,000 AZN in compensation. The Bear article alleged that at a rest stop restaurant in Gabala, Mammadov noticed a caged bear and ordered the chef to kill it and prepare a bear kebab for him. He promised to pay 1 million AZN. The second article said that Anar Mammadov and his friends had been deported from Dubai for social misconduct. The protesters held banners that read, 1 million manat for the bear, 100 manats for pensioners. Leave bears and media alone. Don't demand compensation for a bear barbecue. The demonstration lasted for approximately 10 minutes before protesters Elmin Badalov, Samir Kazimli, and Ilmil Salogumlu, all Yeni Musavat correspondents, were taken to Yasamal District Police Department number 27. They were released after an hour's detention. The preliminary hearing should have been held today, but was cancelled because the judge was detained on official business.
Today, December 10th, the Yasamal District Court heard 3 criminal complaints filed against former parliamentary candidate Fuad Gahramanov by different individuals. First, Modern Musavat Party chairman Hafiz Hajiev's complaint against Fuad Gahramanov was heard. Judge Sardar Mehreliev said that the General Prosecutor's Office replied to the court's inquiry. The General Prosecutor's Office did not approve the demand to bring Fuad Gahramanov to criminal liability. After deliberation, the judge announced the decision not to fulfill the complaint. The second hearing was held on the criminal complaint of parliamentarian Husan Beyla Miramlov against Fuad Gahramanov. Judge Khagani Tagiev, who chaired the hearing, said that the General Prosecutor's Office did not approve the demand to bring Fuad Gahramanov to criminal liability. The judge said that the General Prosecutor's Office decision is based on the former candidate's right to freedom of expression. After deliberation, the judge announced the decision not to fulfill the complaint. The last hearing was held on the criminal complaint of former New Azerbaijan Party parliamentarian Ahad Aliyev against Fuad Gahramanov. The judge, Tahir Ismailov, who presided over the hearing, said that the General Prosecutor's Office did not approve the demand to bring Fuad Gahramanov to criminal liability. After deliberation, the judge announced the decision not to fulfill the complaint. All plaintiffs sought to file a suit against Fuad Gahramanov under Article 148, Insult, of the Criminal Code. On December 10th, former Musavat Party Supreme Assembly chairperson Selahattin Akbar held a press conference on the problems of combining the two leading opposition parties. Musavat and Azerbaijan Popular Front Party. Akbar talked about the necessity of combining the parties. He pointed out that the APFP Congress had passed an unconditional decision to merge with the Musavat Party. This would not only be for the union of the two political parties, but would also pave the way for combining all democratic parties. This would also lay the foundation for the establishment of a popular movement against what threatens to be a transition to a dictatorial regime. According to him, the Classical Popular Front Party, Democratic Party, Azerbaijan National Independence Party, along with other parties, can all join this coalition in the future. The main problem for the union of the two parties is the position of the Musavat Party leaders. No other Musavat Party leaders, apart from Ibrahimli and me, are eager to see this solution. This might come down to jealousy, namely Issa Gamber's concerns for his position in the new coalition, given the probability that Ali Karamli will be appointed the head, he said. Over the summer, the Musavat Party leader stated that the opposition could be united during the build-up to the parliamentary elections. Later, his speech made it clear that he had been talking about merging Musavat with APFP. APFP passed a decision to lead the Azadlık coalition to work with the Musavat Party. Individuals who signed and voted for Sakavat Aliyev, a former parliamentary candidate who ran in Shahrour Constituency No. 2, have been punished, Aliyev said at a press conference held in IRFS Press Center on the 9th of December. Sakavat Aliyev remarked that although a great period of time has elapsed since the elections, individuals voting for him and his supporters are still being harassed by the government. Zakir Asgarov, a postman, was dismissed from his job. He served as an observer of Sakavat Aliyev on election day. Electrician Zulfugar Tagiev was also dismissed, said journalist Elman Abbasov. According to him, immediately after the elections, the signature sheets of Sakavat Aliyev were sent to the law enforcement bodies in the Ministry of National Security branch in Shahrour. Afterwards, law enforcement bodies summoned and questioned those individuals. State-run agencies' employees also face harassment and are described as betrayers for voting for opposition parties. Sakavat Aliyev is a Musavat Party member. He stated that he will not give up or withdraw despite the persecution of his 6 brothers. Today, at the IRFS Press Center, the Human Rights Club was established by a group of human rights defenders on December 10th, International Human Rights Day. Human rights defender Natik Jafarla stated that the aim was to unite efforts in human rights protection field in Azerbaijan. He mentioned that the club would investigate human rights and prepare reports. Human rights defender Rasul Jafarov spoke about prisoners' rights being violated and stressed that the club would pay special attention to this field. Human rights defender Sabuhi Jafarov said that the rights of some prisoners are protected, but the rights of others are being violated. He mentioned that the rights of all individuals will be protected by the club. Journalist and human rights defender Idrak Abbasov pointed out the importance of uniting the efforts. He said the club will be open for every person who wants to work in this field. Other rights defenders attending the event included Hakim Eldostu Mehdia, Elman Abbasov, Hilal Mahmadov, Paravana Pirsani, all who stressed the importance of the club. Human rights defender Amin Husseinov stated that such clubs operate in most countries, and this practice is effective for working in the human rights field. He mentioned that the club will prepare a report on human rights by the end of the current year, and going forward will prepare reports once a month and present them to the local and international communities.